Thanks for joining us here on KGW Plus. I'm Stephanie Domerat. Chris McGinnis will join us in just a moment with a look at your weather. First, let's get you caught up on today's top stories. Now, right now, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is answering questions from the House Oversight Committee as part of their investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. According to NBC, just within the last hour, Clinton told the committee, quote, "I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island home or offices," end quote. Tomorrow, the committee will hear from former President Bill Clinton. This is the first time in American history a former president and first lady have been forced to appear before a congressional committee under subpoena. Police say the suspect who killed 4 people in a stabbing this week in a small town near Tacoma was related to one of the victims. Gig Harbor police identified that suspect as 32-year-old Alexander Shablikin. They also say one of the victims was his mother, Zoya Shablikin. Court records show a history of violence at the home, including a mother repeatedly seeking protection from her adult son. We are still waiting to learn more about the other 3 victims. A new lawsuit alleges decades of widespread sexual abuse in the Clark County Juvenile Justice Center. The suit claims the abuse happened over almost 40 years. It involves victims who were detained at the center as children between 1978 and 2014 and alleges detention staff members groomed, threatened, and sexually abused them. Plaintiffs say in some cases they were sexually assaulted during their strip searches. We reached out to a Clark County official for a statement. They said they do not comment on pending litigation. The FDA has upgraded a recall for 55,000 pounds of frozen blueberries from an Oregon-based company. It's important to note that the FDA says the blueberries were not sold directly to consumers at grocery stores. The agency says the fruit was sold in 4 states, including Oregon and Washington, but did not specify exactly where those berries were sold. Officials say the fruit may be contaminated with Listeria bacteria that can be life-threatening. The Oregon Potato Company first recalled the products on February 12th. It's been upgraded now over the risk of serious illness or death. The Oregon Potato Company also owns the Willamette Valley Fruit Company in Salem. Portland Public Schools says it is now facing a $10 million shortfall for this year's budget. That is on top of the major deficit they were already facing for next year. KGW's Corey Johnson has a closer look.
Well, PPS was already facing a $50 million deficit for next year, and now a letter from district leadership details a $10 million budget gap for the remainder of this fiscal year. Now, PPS says this unexpected budget gap is due to higher than expected safety and transportation costs, as well as unanticipated costs from federal lawsuits and a decline in tax revenue due to falling commercial property values. Now, the district says it plans to pause spending in all budgets, tighten spending on substitutes and overtime, and also cancel a professional development day set for March.
As we see cut after cut after cut, it's hard to hang on to that because people are scared. People are nervous about their jobs, their livelihood.
The district had already proposed cutting 300 full-time positions to make up for next year's shortfall, but according to district leaders, they say those cuts might happen sooner. Back to you.
Corey, thank you. Let's give you a live look now at the state capitol this afternoon, where a bill passed by the Oregon House would disconnect the state from certain federal tax credits passed under President Trump. The move would free up more than $300 million in the budget. Most of Oregon's tax code automatically mirrors federal changes. So when congressional Republicans extended and expanded major tax cuts last year, Oregon's tax breaks got bigger too. The move blew a hole in Oregon's state budget because unlike the federal government, Oregon cannot run up its deficit the same way. Now lawmakers are left with 2 options: raise revenue or cut spending. Democrats say the bill protects funding for schools, public safety, and health care. State Representative and GOP governor candidate Ed Deal is pushing for a referendum, saying the bill would cut jobs and harm Oregon families. If Deal wins his referendum fight, the bill will go to voters. Oregon Republicans are also calling on Democrats to stop their effort to put transportation taxes on the ballot this May instead of November. Wednesday was the deadline the Secretary of State recommended for the bill to be passed to give voters enough time to submit arguments for the voter pamphlet. Though technically it doesn't have to be done until the end of this session, which is March 8th. The bill, which already passed the Senate, is scheduled for a 3rd hearing in the House today. A bill aimed at steering some public money toward renovations for the Moda Center could head to the House floor as soon as later today. Yesterday, lawmakers in Salem heard from the public hearing on Senate Bill 1501. The bill would create the framework for shared ownership of the Moda Center between the state and the city of Portland. Excuse me. With money coming from taxes on players and performers. The city is also expected to contribute around $400 million. Excuse me. We're going to get over to Chris McGinnis with a look.
Let's go ahead and give Stephanie a glass of water, and we'll give you a few minutes to recover there, Stephanie. Thank you. Let's check this out. Beautiful shot from Timberline Lodge, pointed south towards the Central Oregon Cascades, tippy top of Mount Jefferson there. Three Sisters, Broken Top off in the distance as well. Clear sky out there after a chilly and foggy morning again today. Not quite as foggy, not quite as cold as yesterday, but chilly nonetheless. Vancouver started off at 34 degrees, PDX at 36, and a couple of sub-freezing numbers out there. Aurora and Manville started off the morning at 30. And if you're wondering, we're not quite out of the woods for a freeze at PDX, but we are inching a little closer. This is the average date of the last freeze at the airport, March 25th, over the period of record here from the 1940s or so until, 1940s until now. That's the average date of the last freeze. Vancouver, you got to go to mid-April. And one of the last communities here to see a freeze in the spring is Battleground. April 26th is your typical latest 32-degree temperature. That doesn't mean that this year will be earlier or later. That's just the average date. Okay, right now we are clear and 48 degrees from the spring to the waterfront camera in Vancouver. We're clear over downtown as well. Beautiful shot there from the Wells Fargo Tower pointed east towards Mount Hood. 48 degrees with a high thin overcast on top of us right now. All right, the plan for the rest of the day, we were 53 yesterday. We probably get to 53 or maybe 54 today with a mostly sunny sky out there. A good looking Thursday, pretty good looking Friday as well. And then I did make some slight adjustments to the weekend forecast, Stephanie. There is now at least the slightest chance of some light rain along the central Oregon coast and in the Willamette Valley, southern Willamette Valley on Saturday. I'll show you that with Futurecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then, Chris. Thank you. And thanks for picking it up for me there. Well, the man who bought Portland's iconic Big Pink building a few months back is now doubling down. Jeff Swickard scooped up another building not far away. And as many offices downtown sit empty, KGW's Celine Stevens caught up with him to ask about his plans for the city of Portland.
We view this as a long-term commitment to the city.
Jeff Swickard, president of Swickard Group, has purchased the Five Oak building in downtown Portland along Southwest 4th Avenue. It's nearly 300,000 square feet and meant to complement his recent acquisition of the Big Pink building.
We want to find a way to integrate Five Oak into the Big Pink's amenity structure. So our vision is to kind of reimagine these buildings into what we consider like experience-driven environments, people where we blend work, hospitality and community.
He says the building cost a bit over $10 million. The hope to help downtown Portland thrive once more, which has already seen a 5.5% rise in foot traffic in 2025 compared to 2024, and the busiest summer since the pandemic, according to Downtown Portland Clean and Safe. Prosper Portland says this is a win for the city.
We're looking forward to other interested parties across this country seeing the same value that Mr. Jeff Swickard has seen, because it sends a clear message to the country that there's value here, and we look forward to partnering with them.
However, some Portlanders aren't celebrating yet.
Kind of depends if it's gonna be more corporate office space, or if they're gonna bring some stuff back in for folks that are walking and visiting downtown. I'm an old-time Portlander, so I still miss the food cart block that got turned into the Ritz-Carlton.
We have to be able to do both. The food carts and the hot dog stands are typically patronized by those who occupy those big buildings. And so we have to fill those up while we're simultaneously supporting our small business ecosystem.
Five Oak currently houses the county's Department of Human Services, the U.S. Postal Service, and more. And Swickard confirmed the purchase should not impact those tenants.
We hope with our thoughtful investment, we hope we can accelerate that momentum, and we hope that we can be kind of a confidence builder for other investors.
In downtown Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Coming up, an endangered turtle stuck in Canada. We hear the multi-nation effort to get her back to the Caribbean when we come back.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. We'd like to give you that story again that I apologize for. I had a coughing fit earlier, but a bill aimed at steering some public money toward renovations for the Moda Center could head to the House floor as soon as later today. So yesterday, lawmakers in Salem heard from the public hearing on Senate Bill 1501. Now, the bill would create the framework for shared ownership of the Moda Center between the state of Oregon and the city of Portland, with money coming from taxes on players and performers. The city is also expected to contribute around $400 million over 20 years. Those opposing the bill argue the Blazers owners should foot the bill for renovations. Supporters say the move would, in theory, keep the Blazers in the Rose City.
But I want to state clearly today that the Portland City Council is committed to the project and to the funding that we will need to contribute to it.
From the beginning, our goal has been straightforward: to pursue a market rate partnership that renovates Moda Center and keeps the Blazers in Portland for the long term.
The Blazers' current lease expires in 2030. As part of this bill, the team has to commit to stay for a minimum of 20 more years. The Senate Rules Committee is set to revisit the bill at 1 o'clock this afternoon. A rare and endangered turtle was stuck in Canada this winter. Juliana Grillo tells us how a team is helping Lucky get back to warmer waters.
Hypothermic, weak, and emaciated. That's how Lucky the juvenile sea turtle was found in Digby back in the fall, when it is far too late and far too cold for her to swim back south. She's a Camp's Ridley sea turtle, a species so endangered that it experienced a 90% population decline in the last 75 years. These turtles travel north to feed in the summer, and then back to their warm Caribbean waters in the rest of the year. After months of specialized care at the Atlantic Veterinary College in PEI, Lucky is traveling to the Bahamas. But it's not as easy as just booking a ticket.
So you need a lot of permits. You're not allowed to just move endangered species across international borders. The United States government had gone into its shutdown when Lucky first arrived, which means that this just wasn't a viable option in this case, and we had to look at different possibilities. And we were thrilled that Bahamas was willing to take Lucky. It's at Atlantis Paradise Island, which is a resort that's pretty well known, I think, in our area, but also has this amazing animal care facility and rehabilitation facility.
Martin is traveling with Lucky's veterinarian. They carried bags with small heaters, blankets, and other things to keep this tropical animal cozy.
Initially, the plan was to get in the vehicle, travel directly from Charlottetown to Halifax, and get on a plane, but the snowstorm made that a big challenge. So we actually had to come a full day early and then figure out how to logistically care for an aquatic sea turtle in a hotel environment. As you can imagine, that faced lots of challenges. And so we brought that type of salt I mentioned, that's specific for aquatic species, and we mixed that in a bathtub full of water, but even little things like making sure we clean and disinfect the tub so there's no residue, for example, from previous shampoo or body lotions and things like that that might have been in it. Those things are all details we take into account.
When Lucky arrives, a team in Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas will take her to her new temporary home. She will stay in the Wildlife Center in quarantine for a month until she's cleared to be released.
The sun is out after a bit of a foggy start for some of us. It's 48 degrees last check at PDX. It's 49 in downtown. We are on our way to highs in the low to mid 50s this afternoon. More on that and a look ahead to your weekend in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
All right, Chris joining us again with a look at your weather.
I call the 7-day the mood-lifting
I
7-day,
like that.
right?
I agree.
After days of clouds and rain, it's nice to see sun.
I agree.
There we go. Let's take you to a sunny spot. This is the Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. The East-Scores looking back towards a very snow-capped Mount Hood. Of course, the mountain did really well with snow over the last week or so. So we're really, really glad to see that reverse the trend, which has been not very good so far this winter, right? All right. That said, we've got dry weather going into the weekend for most of us. The little change that I made to our weekend forecast is this. I have introduced at least a slight chance of rain along the central Oregon coast and the central and southern Willamette Valley, and I'll show you why in just a second. I still think Portland, Vancouver, Beaverton, Hillsborough, and then points north, dry weekend and actually still quite nice. Looking ahead to early next week, don't mean to just blow right past the weekend, but we are still eyeing potentially some 60-degree warmth on Monday and or Tuesday before our next widespread rain comes in. All right, the setup right now, we are in between weather systems right here in the sweet spot, right along the Columbia River in northern Oregon and southern Washington, enjoying a beautiful day today and tomorrow. One weather system there sort of meandering off the California coast. It's going to continue meandering eastward slowly, and that will throw some clouds, and therein lies the rain chance for Saturday. So let me stop Futurecast for you at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. You can see the European model does bring a wave of rain up into like Lincoln County and Benton County and Lynn County, I should say, Saturday afternoon. And of course, across Central Oregon as well. So if you're heading over to, say, Madras or Bend or Sun River and Prineville, you folks have at least the slightest chance of some rain late Saturday into the wee hours of Sunday. That system, though, pulls away, and it should leave us with what I think is going to be a pretty good-looking weekend forecast and a Sunday forecast for most of us. That said, modeling does suggest maybe a trace of rain in Salem and higher possible amounts as you get farther south. So again, Lincoln County, Benton County, Lynn County, you have at least a slight chance of some rain Saturday. Here in Portland, I think we'll be dry, partly to mostly cloudy though on Saturday, and then becoming partly to mostly sunny on Sunday. We'll escape the freezing overnight lows, though, I think, this weekend. Our visible satellite imagery showing, again, a beautiful day across the region today. And hey, we'll keep adding to the good vibes here. We are still adding 3+ minutes of daylight each day. So our days now getting longer. We're up over 2 hours and 17 minutes plus since the winter solstice. All right, the forecast today, these are 5 o'clock temperatures, or 4 o'clock temperatures, I should say. Low to mid 50s should do it in the I-5 corridor. Here in Portland, I've got us inching towards about 53 or 54 with, again, a mostly sunny forecast. All right, heading into Friday, tomorrow, 35 for an overnight low, so a chilly start. Probably won't see that much in the way of fog tomorrow. Should be mostly sunny in the afternoon. Increasing clouds on Saturday with that slight chance of rain for the Central Coast and Central and Southern Willamette Valley. And then we're dry Sunday and dry for most of our 7-day forecast until the middle of next week. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back. 9 Oregon players are at the NFL Combine this week, looking for a chance to showcase their skills and improve their draft stock. Now, among those heading to Indianapolis this week is linebacker Bryce Betcher, who is set to do his on-field workout today. He's a homegrown talent from Eugene and who went from being a walk-on to star linebacker. He was also a 2-sport athlete at Oregon, drafted by the Houston Astros in 2024.
Big question right now, how do both of them overlap? How does baseball relate to football, vice versa? And ultimately, which one am I choosing? But, I'm here at the Combine, so I'm choosing football.
Betcher says he still loves baseball, but nothing beats the feeling of stepping onto the gridiron. According to NFL Next Gen Stats, Betcher is rated 6th among linebackers at the Combine. The draft begins April 23rd. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, Chris, you got a look for us at Mount Hood?
Yeah, so we showed this earlier, about 45 minutes ago. There were climbers kind of working their way up. And now if you look really, you might have to get out the magnifying glass.
Oh,
but right there, those two little ants right at the tippy top there, center screen. Yeah, they have summited.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
What a beautiful day to be up there.
What a day. It's a little breezy, but it's, well, it's 36 right now at the lodge. So, you know, it's a little breezy, chilly, but good for them.
That's cool.
Good for us. Sunny today, tomorrow, increasing clouds Saturday, but I still think dry here in Portland. And a mild 70 forecast generally.
A little sunshine coming back for us. Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. Hey, a reminder, we've added more live news to KGW Plus. You can tune in to Sunrise exclusively from 7 to 9 each morning and later tonight at 5:30. We'll see you back here today at 4 o'clock. Have a great day.